Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM as we make our way through the final night of March's month-long 31 Days of Oscar Marathon. Tonight, we've got Oscar winners from the 1960s on the schedule. And up next, a film nominated for 9 Academy Awards. It won 2 for Best Black and White Cinematography and Art Direction. From 1961, Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason, George C. Scott, and Piper Laurie in The Hustler. It's the story of a small-time pool hustler, Fast Eddie Felson, played by Newman. He wants a shot at the big time. That means going up against one of the greats, a player called Minnesota Fats, played by Gleason. If you think Minnesota Fats was a real pool player, you are correct. His real name was Rudolph Wanderone, but he didn't take the name Minnesota Fats until he saw The Hustler. He adopted the name from the movie. Jackie Gleason was 45 years old at the time, one of the biggest TV stars in the business, but his television work was almost exclusively comedy. The Hustler is no comedy. This is a tense, emotional drama, so Gleason was playing totally against type. His performance earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, the sole Academy Award nomination of Gleason's career. Competing with him in the same category that year was one of his co-stars in The Hustler, George C. Scott. They both lost to George Chakiris in West Side Story. For Scott, that didn't matter. He was opposed to the spectacle of the Academy Awards, saying that he disagreed with any competition that set actors against each other. A decade later, when Scott earned a Best Actor nomination for Patton, he famously declined both the nomination and the Oscar that ultimately followed. Additionally, The Hustler earned Oscar nominations for Paul Newman as Best Actor and Piper Laurie as Best Actress. We'll have much more on Laurie after the movie. Robert Rossen picked up 3 nominations as director, screenwriter, and producer. Here's the film from 1961, The Hustler. Piper Laurie arrived in Hollywood in 1949, just 17 years old. She became a rising star in the 1950s, though her early films were mostly light comedies and romances that didn't do much to showcase her extraordinary talent for drama, which you just saw on display in The Hustler. When her first 7-year Hollywood contract was up, she began focusing on theater and television instead, and Laurie excelled in live TV dramas during their heyday in the mid-50s, including the original production of The Days of Wine and Roses. When she returned to Hollywood, she finally began getting more challenging roles, and her performance in The Hustler in 1961 earned Laurie an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Since then, she's been nominated twice more for supporting performances in Carrie in 1976 and Children of a Lesser God in '86. Coming up, a Best Picture winner that earned Oscar nominations for both of its stars, Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight. Midnight Cowboy is next on TCM.